Sacramento visiting that man, Kyle Lowry, and the Toronto Raptors, Marvin Bagley, here with the nice drive and finish.
Nice little touch there by the big fella.
First career start on the season. Fred VanVleet with the beautiful up and under. That might be a
That's a
candidate. That's a candidate. That's got to be
under the rim.
And then Kyle Lowry here drops it off to Greg Monroe.
Nice give and go.
Back to him for the finish.
Toronto's
and the
playing
foul.
good basketball.
Yes, they are.
They're just they know their system. They're executing in their system.
Ooh, ooh. Bogdanovich hit him with a little in and out there.
Slow mo and go.
Oh, then the turnover. And Siakam, I know both you guys have been impressed with how well he has played.
Big fan of his right now, the way he's played, the way he's improved.
Yes. And he runs hard, man. One thing, the big Euro on there.
Go ahead on, Serge.
Yeah, the
Go
Euro
ahead on,
step.
Serge.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The Chef Serge.
Yeah. Kyle.
Lowry with the pump, great free and hits the three. 9-point lead at that point for the Raptors. And then Siakam with the steal.
He's good at that.
And this is what he likes to do.
You get a steal when the guy falls down and just gives you the ball, or they just...
Yeah, that's a steal.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
I mean, when you look at Toronto, they can have three guys that are first, second, all-team defensive.
Yeah.
When you look at Serge, Siakam, and Kawhi.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
you're talking about
and don't
first
sleep
and
on
second.
Kyle Lowry.
And don't sleep on,
He's a very good defender. Ooh. Young fella going way uptown.
Remember you used to do that, Mikhail?
Sure.
No.
Remember you used to sky like that?
I forgot that.
That's the 10th straight win at home for Toronto as they just continue to pile up the W's in that Eastern Conference.
3-1-14 as we see the scores. Big time scoring from Leonard, McCollum, and Nurkic. They didn't get much for the others. 5 players in double figures. I think they ended up with 6 players in double figures for this game, Candace.
Well, I mean, if you see, one of the statistics that wasn't seen on this side is the 16 steals that the Thunder had, tied a season high, and that's what it was the entire night. It was those intangibles that didn't show up on the stat sheet.
And this was a good one. This will be the game of the day for NBA TV, and we're going to throw it out to 3D Candace, our other partner who caught up with Paul George. Here's a tweet. Look at this. I love this. Every time a player says players only. Boy, 3D, what a fantastic job. What a season we had. Candace, rookie getting a chance to work. We're missing our partner, GA.
We are.
We had to step up over there, but wonderful season. Everybody upstairs, Bert Bondi, Dora Marshall, everybody here. It was fun. Fantastic season.
No, it was a great rookie season for me. My vets didn't treat me too bad. Brought a couple donuts and,
didn't.
some coffee,
When?
some vino.
Okay, there you go. You did. But we had a good time. Back to you, GA.
Guys, thanks. It has been an incredible run thus far in terms of players only here on NBA TV, but there was also a little breaking news that Adrian Wojnarowski came out with. Memphis seriously considering moving one of their franchise players, Mike Conley Jr. or Marc Gasol. They have made it known that those two guys are on the block.
Yeah, and I think Conley can help somebody. And I know those salaries both are very hefty. I don't know if Memphis will be able to get back what they're looking for by trading both those guys. However, if Conley gets with the right team, that he can be a game changer in terms of putting a team over the top with his play, particularly a team that's close to trying to break through in terms of getting to the Eastern Conference Finals or getting to the finals. He can definitely, if he joins one of the right teams, he can definitely take one of those teams there.
No question. Both those guys can play on good teams because both those guys at any given night can be the 4th or 5th option and not bother them at all and still be effective. As a 4th, 5th option, they still get 12, 13 points. Gasol can get 8, 9 rebounds, 4 or 5 assists and be fine with it. The problem is that I'm not sure. Memphis is going to want draft choices back, really high draft choices.
Yeah.
Memphis will want young talent back. I just don't know if there's going to be a team that's going to fit.
It's almost like they made this decision too late.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, because I just don't know who's going to fit the mold of a really young team. These guys don't fit with really young teams that are rebuilding. They fit with really good teams that have a chance to win, and the really good teams that have a chance to win just don't seem to have the assets that you think Memphis would want. So they're kind of in a tough spot, but I like both these guys. Both these guys are pros. Both these guys are professionals. I'm more lean towards Conley than I do. I think Gasol, he can still pass, he can still play the perimeter, make shots, but defensively wise, the league is kind of changing away from the bigger centers the more active guys are more effective right now. But I like them both.
Both are talented, no doubt about it. It'd be interesting to see how this one plays out in terms of whether or not they end up with the Grizzlies. Wow, that is so powerful. As an African American, first to see those young students and how articulate and polished and socially aware they were. That's inspiring to hear that message in Dr. King's name.
Yeah, it was inspiring, and you were, you were blown away by their extensive vocabulary. Because they were able to articulate and express their point, and then get it out. So again, kudos to the teachers. But the thing that was also disheartening was that these are kids that are in 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And we're still talking about as a society, racial segregation, police brutality, and how can we all live together and be in harmony. And, as Dr. King said when we started off, he said, this is the Constitution, and we want America to live up to what is written on this paper. So, the Voting Rights Act came in the 60s. Again, Fair Housing Act came in the 60s. We talked about segregation in terms of education, people coming together, being educated in one place. That came in the 60s. And we're still fighting the same things today. From the 1600s, you were dealing with slavery. And then after that, you were dealing with Jim Crow. And now you're dealing with mass incarceration. So it's just a way to try to get the system to correct itself, and we as the people correct the system so we can all be together, live together, and that's why we have such an advantage in sports when we play in sports, and that's why we can all get along, and that's why people come to sports to basically have these hard discussions, because we were fortunate enough to go in a locker room where it's a level playing field, right? And it's the guy in purple against the guy in white, and nobody's looking at race, class, religion, none of that. It was about, can we come together and win? And we don't realize how fortunate we've been to be involved in sports where we can break down these stereotypes and racial barriers. And some of these kids and a lot of people who are not participants in sports, they don't have the opportunity that we've had in society.
Yeah, first of all, those kids were impressive. They're better than most of the talking heads I see on TV.
Yeah.
I'd listen to those kids. Where the hell are they on some Tuesday night? I can learn something. And Zeke, and I were talking about this the other day. It's almost like we're more polarized now. We were talking about back in the 70s when we were, going to college and just everything. And it just seems like it's almost more polarized now. That everybody's getting in their corner, and it's like this community's here, this community's here, and they can't interact. I mean, it was so different. We had this discussion the other day just about how you walk in the locker room. There's black guys, there's white guys. You all get along, and I never thought about color ever. You're out there, you're just playing and hooping and competing. And it seems like now it gets brought up more and more and more. And I hope I hope we're not going backwards, because it just seems like
there's a sense that we are going backwards. However, there's a sense that there's enough of us who are recognizing that, hey, we can't go backwards. We have to keep moving forward. And I think that's what these conversations are all about. How do we keep moving forward, and how do we keep, making we the people, live up to the Constitution of what the founders believed in?
And one of the ways to do that is to continue to have the courage to have the tough conversations and to get that message out there. And I think if we continue to do that and go along that path, I think a lot of positive things will happen. And have your kids play team sports. That helps as well. And speaking of kids, Paul George, he does this every year. Goes fishing, takes a bunch of young kids. We'll look at that when we get back after the break. Welcome back, Paul George, doing it on both sides. Game high 20 in that first half, and there with the impressive block in transition. Welcome to the American Express halftime report. Greg Anthony here with the Hall of Famers, Isaiah and Kevin. Guys, thoughts on that first half in terms of what you saw from the Thunder?
I like the way that, their ball movement is excellent right now. They're taking good shots. They're sharing the basketball. And right now they're playing winning basketball offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I thought the Thunder came out. I thought Russell thought he was hot from warm-up.
Yeah.
He took 3 or 4 test shots, and then I don't have it tonight. He's just passing and moving. He only took 7 shots. I like this version of Russell Westbrook. I really do. He took a couple heat checks early to see if he had it. Now he just plays basketball. He's making passes, and Paul George is on fire. He's just playing at a pace. Like when you're playing basketball where he's at, everybody looks like they're going slow to you. Like you're dribbling the ball, you're looking around. Like I think I'll shoot it now. And he's just on such a roll. And I like to see a guy just get hot like this and keep filling it up.
Yeah.
And what he's doing also, guys, it takes a lot of energy to score at this level, but he still brings it defensively every night as well.
Yeah, and I mean, in our league right now, he Kawhi Leonard, they're like the ultimate two-way players. And, we forget to say Klay Thompson a lot, but, Klay is in that group also. But, those guys, they bring it every night on both ends of the court, and you respect that.
Yeah. And they guard the other team's top guys. When the guy gets hot, they say, put me on him, coach. So they love the challenge. Those guys, boy, having those guys on their team is huge.
You guys talked a little bit about Westbrook. His evolution, is it fair to say maturation at that position? Because he seems to be almost a pass-first guy.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about maturation, we always compare it to the physical as opposed to the mental. But his mental maturation has been, fantastic in this league. He's passing the basketball well. Mm-hmm. He's become a very unselfish player. He's not judging himself by how many points he scores, but he's judging himself by how many points he helped others score, which makes a big difference.
And you just talked about, the maturation of him. How about he's coming down and he sees Adams, but what does he want to do? He wants to give Adams space. He crosses over to here to drop the ball back here to give Adams all that room. Yeah. You're playing at he's playing chess at that point. You're not playing checkers. Checkers, the guy just throws it behind. Everyone's a big jumble. Yeah. He decided out there that he was going to cut across the lane to give Adams space. Again, he and George are playing mentally at a really nice pace. Yeah. And I think, honestly, part of Russell thinking, I don't have to lead the league in scoring, has eased his mind and made him a better passer. I mean, because he's always had the talent, but now he's adding, just like I say, just that little move there. I'm like, man, when you're a big guy, I played with Tiny Archibald. They were the best guys because they just created the space for you. It was fun to play with.
Yeah. Now listen, Portland down 7, but they're there in part because of the rebounding, plus 12 on the backboard, and Nurkic has been solid for him in that first half.
Yeah, you know what? I was kind of surprised that Nurkic was able to get off a little bit on Adams, because Adams is so strong, a physical player. But you saw him right there. He's sprinting the floor, boxes him out, stops the break. And again, the big guys have got to get in the paint. Just him being in the paint like that stops all kinds of penetration. He's there, and again, now you're going to have your hands full here when the ball goes up, because you got to go fight, and you got to fight Adams. And Adams is a great offensive rebounder. So I'm just impressed again with him. He gets in here. Actually, Adams travels right there, but he gets up and gets a hand on it. His ability to get back in the paint and cover up, I just think that helps you guard so much. Because as a guard, if you see a big guy standing in here, just chest towards you, waiting. It makes everybody more passive. So he's done a really nice job defensively, and offensively gets to the open spots. He just knows how to play off those guys. He gets the open spots, hits the boards. I'm liking Nurkic. I just need to see him do this every single night with this amount of energy, this amount of effort.
And I think when he's playing against a guy like Adams, he gets to use the physical elements of the game that he's not used to using against other players because the game is officiated so differently. So big guys, y'all have like judo moves, I call. You know, I mean, y'all like know how to elbow a guy, and if he puts his elbow on you, then you know how to swim. Then you know how to take him here. Then you got the little knee. It's like down there, such physical, you know, maneuvering, and it's all subtle moves down there. And I think Adams and Nurkic probably both are having a good time exploiting their skills that way.
Yeah, they've been going at it. And when we come back, we're going to take a look at what else is going on around the league. Rock'em, Siakam, getting it going up north for the Raptors, who just quietly
great basketball,
continuing to go about their business of winning games.